Okay, I'm good. I shared it on Facebook. Maybe I'll get some viewers. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Free College Podcast. This is episode 1. If you don't know me, I'm Kobe, and I'm making a podcast mostly because I want to. Actually, it's only because I want to. There's no other reason. I just wanted to start a podcast, and right now I'm by myself doing this. It's not the worst thing. I'm fine being alone. Trying to turn up the volume on this thing. Hello, test 1 2. And the reason this podcast is beginning because of Chris D'Elia. So if you don't know who Chris D'Elia is, I've been watching his podcast called Congratulations. So the Congratulations podcast is his, and he just sits there and talks. He's a comedian. He's funny. So he sits and talks, tells some jokes, and I find it pretty hilarious to watch. I really enjoy his content on the podcast, but I also just enjoy his comedy style, I think. So he's inspired me to start my own podcast, this is what this is. And the point of the podcast isn't to be flashy or super crazy creative as much as just talking, because I talk a lot and I like talking and I think out loud. That's the way I think best. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm thinking out loud a little bit and just talking about life here, because I think it's fun too, and it can be funny when you talk about real life stuff. So that's the point of this whole thing. Free College is the name because a year ago I moved to Arizona because I was done with college after 4 years of it. And it's nothing political or nothing to do with me thinking that free college is, it has nothing to do with getting free college. It has everything to do with I was in college for a year and now I'm sick, or 4 years, and now I don't have a degree, and it costs a lot of money to go to college. And what I'm going to be talking about a lot of the time is college stuff, because that's what I've done for the past 4 years. But then on top of other experiences I've had recently. But my 4 years of college, it was a crap show. I mean, it was crazy. There was a lot of stuff that happened. And I went for 4 years and don't have a degree. So there's some stories there to be had. And do I wish it was free? Yes. Was it free? No. Do I regret going? No. But do I wish I didn't pay that much money? Yes. But that's okay. The experience was worth something. Probably not worth what anyone would pay to go to college, but it was worth something. It was good. And realistically, it got me the job I have now. And if I didn't have the job I'd had now, I never would have met the woman who is going to be my wife in less than a month, or a little over a month. So that's cool. So I can't complain there. And then on top of that, I also met a lot of good friends that I had, and I enjoyed my time with them. The part that sucked was kind of the school stuff, because it was so crazy busy, and then I ended up not finishing it all. So I did all this work to leave and say, screw this. So, whatever. It was something. But I actually just went to a wedding of a friend from college this past weekend. So I went home for like a week for 2 weddings. One was like a week and a half ago, so last Saturday, not this past one, but the one before that. And I went to his wedding, and I was his best man. That was great. Then I went to another wedding this weekend, like 4 to 5 days ago or whatever, and it was good. It was really good, and it was my old college buddy, and I saw a bunch of my college friends, which was fun. So that made me think about college. I think that's what made me think to start this podcast. But either way, I saw all my college friends, and that was fun. I loved hanging out with them. That was a blast. Their wedding was awesome. So to To my friends Ethan and Kayla, great job. Your wedding was awesome. I loved it. I'm really glad I went. But one thing about leaving Arizona. So you go to Arizona. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you don't know, it's the desert here. It means it's really hot and there's no water. That's what a desert is, okay? Really hot, no water. So it's in summer. It's like 120 degrees, right? That's a lot of degrees. It's really hot here, always. Every day, it's really hot. So I'm in shorts and a t-shirt all the time, and even that's too much. Okay? So I go to Pennsylvania, and then for some reason, everyone thinks it's a good idea to say, "Oh, so you're coming from Phoenix? It's hot there, isn't it?" I don't know if anyone knows. If everyone should know this, though. The least interesting thing to talk about with anyone in the world is weather. Humans seem to have this weird default go-to of, I don't know what to say to this human, so weather. So I'm going to talk about how hot it is somewhere. Who cares about that? Realistically, come on. But that's what happens every time I go anywhere. Hey, it's like 200 degrees in Phoenix, right? Haha. It's like, yeah, kinda. It's kind of close to that. Oh, but I heard it's a dry heat. Yeah, it's a desert. There's no water. Everything is dry. It's a desert. Okay? And then they try to say, okay, so it's like 120 degrees, but it's dry. So it's not, it's not humid. Like in Pennsylvania, I will say it's grossly humid outside. So you go outside, it's 90 degrees and your sweat sticks to your arms. But it's 90 degrees. The humidity is like kind of gross and just makes the sweat stick on you a little bit more. It doesn't increase how hot it is. It doesn't make it more degrees outside. What? And I know that's not how you say things, okay? I know that it's not more degrees. It's not. I get that. But it doesn't make it feel hotter. It just doesn't make it. I never understood why people thought, "Oh, but it's not so bad cuz it's not humid." It's like, well, yeah, it wouldn't, if it was humid, it wouldn't be as hot cuz there'd be water around. And if there's water around, it cools things down. So it's just not going to be as hot, right? Okay, so you're trying to tell me, man, I live where it's 90 degrees but humid. So you live in 130 degree weather and no humidity and it's better. No, you're wrong. That's wrong. Okay? That's not how it works. It's hotter. It's 30 degrees hotter, whether it's wet or not. 120 degrees or 90 degrees with some water in the air. I'd take the 90 with some water in the air, right? That's in what world does the 120 sound better? It sounds like you're going to die outside. People hike here and it's over 100 degrees and they don't bring enough water and they die. That happens sometimes. That's not like an exaggeration. That happens sometimes. But you're going to try to talk to me about the weather and tell me, well, at least it's not humid. Whatever. It's hot. It's hotter. Sorry. It's way hotter. I'm not sorry. It's just the way it is. You should be sorry. You should be sorry for suggesting, bro, it's not that bad. It's not even humid. That's wrong. You don't live in Phoenix. You don't get it. No, I'm not trying to be a super complainer either. I like Phoenix and it's dry and hot and I know that and I live here, so I know that. And I live here and I like living here. So it's not, I can't complain too much. And I don't like complaining that much, so I don't do it. All I'm saying is that when you're talking this first things first, don't talk about the weather with people when you see them after a long time. Hey, coming in from Arizona, it's hot over there. No. Hey, coming in from Arizona, what place are you from? Phoenix? Oh, cool. I heard this about Phoenix. That's how you start a conversation. Hey, Kobe, who I haven't seen in years, you still play soccer? You still play the guitar? You still ask me questions about me or let me ask questions about you. Don't go, oh, weather, man. hotness. It's hot there. Who cares about weather? You're going to start a conversation, don't start it about the weather, ever. People talk about that all the time, too, and people still do it. People talk about how that's the least interesting thing you can talk about, but people still do it. Small talk is just not real talk. Stop. Skip that stuff. Go talk about real things. Ask them about them. Okay? So, yeah, going home was fun. I liked going home. It was enjoyable. The weddings were enjoyable, and then I spent a week at camp, which was a blast. So I was a counselor at a camp in a cabin with like 10, 13 to 16-year-old guys, which stunk. It literally, it smelled awful, but it was fun. But it smelled so bad. And then the guys would go in there and spray a pound of Febreze into the sky as if that would make it better. But then you just get all of that Febreze mixed with BO that keeps continuing to fester in their dirty clothes that are sitting on the ground that aren't going to get cleaned all week. What are we doing with that? We need washing machines in those cabins. It's gross. Gosh, it's like they go outside and they sweat. It's humid there, so you get sweat everywhere. You can see the pit stains that run down to their mid abs. Okay, that's a pit stain. Okay, that's all the sweat just goes all the way down, comes to the front of their body, and it's like they have a bra on of sweat because it just continues to, and it goes around their back. It does nonstop, a loop around the body of sweat. And then they take their shirt off and put it in a pile on the ground in the room and leave it there for 5 days and continue to add more sweaty clothes on top of that. And then some of them will take a shower and take their wet towel and leave it there on the ground next to it. So that smells. It's gross, man. Being 13 and 16, that age, that middle school age, man, what a time. What a time. Love to those kids that were there. I'm not complaining about them at all. It's just that's the way it was all week. We couldn't really do anything about it. I had to tie up all my dirty clothes into a trash bag and throw them outside, and then just add to that outside so it didn't stink up the cabin as much. But it wouldn't have made any difference had I left them in. It doesn't matter. Either way, the week was good. So I was happy to be home. It was good to see my family and good to see everybody there. I enjoyed that part of it. And now I'm back in Phoenix getting ready for a wedding, which is exciting. I get married in like 40-some days, August 4th, which is the most exciting thing. I'm very excited about getting married. I just wish it was tomorrow. I have a lot of stuff I still need to plan, but I wish it was tomorrow. It's okay. But we'll be fine. We'll make it. This podcast, I'm pausing because I'm not sure what I want to talk about next, but I'm okay with that. My inspiration for the podcast, like I said, was Chris D'Elia. On his podcast, now, granted, here you go. He's a comedian. He's a professional, and he's hilarious to listen to, tell stories. And I don't know if I'm funny, right? So the idea of this is talk about life, and the goal is to be funny in some sense. So you can call this a comedy podcast if you want. Why? Because I like being funny, and I've always liked the prospect of doing a podcast. And in the recent past, people have told me that I'm funny, which makes me think either I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure if I'm good at telling jokes or funny in my attitude, or if I'm funny because it's one of those people that you laugh at. Because I tend to always be the guy at the butt of the joke, the butt end of the joke in friend groups. I think a lot of that has to do with being able to take, if you're one of those people, those people, they're the people that can take the joke, right? They're the people that can take it and run with it and they don't feel like insecure about themselves because of the jokes. It's like, okay, that's fine. It's funny. and I can take it. I can handle it. You know, that's fine. I'm short. I'm a really short guy. I'm like 5 feet 4 inches tall. That's exactly what height I am. So I get the tall jokes all the time from my friends because it's funny and they know I don't mind, and that's fine. But that's that's an example. That's the butt end of the joke. I'm the butt of the joke a lot. And maybe that's the only reason I'm funny. If that's the only reason I'm funny, then I'm wasting my time making this podcast in order to be funny. But I'm going to continue making the podcast for now until someone says, hey, dude, the podcast sucks. And if someone says that, either I say, I don't care. I like it because I like doing this. Or I say, you're right. See ya. I'm off. And I'll stop doing it that day. Hopefully it's the first one. And I'm confident enough to say, you know what? No, I want to do this. But also, if I don't do good, I want to be able to say, I'm bad at this. Either or. So what else? What else is going on in Mullen? So free college. I wanted to get on this. The free college part, right? With the whole college experience. The whole point, what I was trying to get at with the podcast itself, the name of it, is the college thing, right? So, a little bit about my college experience. I spent 4 years at a private school, private college, paid for it all in student loans, and didn't graduate with a degree. So I went for 2 years studying chemistry, a year studying physics, and then a year studying physics education. Okay, so I switched from physics to physics, like high school education. So I learned how to teach physics for a year on top of that. So I learned all that stuff, which was nice. I actually enjoyed learning all of it. It was great. But got to a point in my third year when I was studying physics, I realized, holy crap, this is way harder than I expected it to be. And in my first semester as a physics major, I was in this like intermediate physics course and a 400 level. So if you know college courses, you have like 101, like whatever, chemistry 101, physics 101, and the simple things. And then the 200s, it's like physics 230 something, whatever, 300s, 400s. So it usually goes about in order. You take the 100 level courses, then 200, then 300, then 400. 400 being the last ones. Usually they're electives, things that you can take or choose to take one or the other, and they're really advanced. And that's like your specialty in a science, okay? Those are so my first semester, because I had already been there for 2 years and I had taken some of the physics courses I needed to, I took some 200 level and 400 level courses at the same time. So in first year in physics, first semester, first time, I go in and I'm like, okay, I learned, this is fine. And then here's this foreign language that is a 400 level physics course that I am sitting in the back like this. For 50 minutes, like 3 times a week. The whole time, the professor's up there saying like, so to make a 3-dimensional integral over this space, I don't know if you know anything about calculus. Okay, a 3-dimensional integral sounds like death. If you've just taken the simplest math classes, I'm not even going to try. This podcast will become something completely different. The point is, this guy's speaking another language that I don't understand, basically, up on the screen. Now, could I have sat down and figured it out? Maybe. But it was so confusing at the time that I just wanted to sit there and sleep. It was in the morning. I think this was a 9 a.m. class after I had already had an 8 a.m. class. And in college, you stay up till 3 a.m. doing homework for all the other classes that you have. So when you get up, you're a zombie at 8 a.m. And if I'm lucky, I went to the cafeteria and got a coffee before going to class, let alone breakfast. Okay, so then now I'm sitting through my second class. My coffee's gone, so I'm out of energy, and I'm done. Okay, so he's talking another language, and I'm sitting there with my pen and my paper, trying to note down what he's saying. And I'm just like, I don't know. Because I'm dead. I'm a zombie. Okay? And then that for a whole semester. And I was so tired and sick of that so quickly that I tried to get help at first from a professor and gave up. Now, is it all on me? Yes. Okay. Am I upset with myself for doing that? Yes, of course. I'm not blaming anyone but myself, okay? I'm not blaming other people. I'm just saying it sucked. This is me complaining, but also being very self-aware that I'm complaining, okay? I'm point of this is funny. I'm joking around. Here's the truth of the 100% truth is I screwed up in college, okay? It's my fault that I did what I did, and I didn't get the degree. It's my fault, 100%. I'm just being real with this is what it felt like when I was there, okay? So I spent that whole semester doing that with a foreign language class that was a physics class. And then the next semester, same thing with a different class, both of which I failed. Had to take them again in the fall of my senior year. And then one of them, I think I got a D in, and the other one I failed again. So I was going to have to take them again because I hated it so much because I didn't even want to be there. And then I was also taking education courses, which were jokingly easy, which was nice. But then it was like, okay, can we move on from this and kind of learn more stuff so I can graduate quicker? Why am I taking these classes? It's like, okay, there's no balance here. I'm going to this class, and I'm like, I know what's going on. So I study that, and I'm like, okay, I can get an A in this while I fail that. And then I'm going to teach people things, but not know what I'm going to teach them because I'm taking this physics course. Also, I was learning physics that I would never have to teach high school students. So there's another thing. Why do I'm paying you to go to your school. All right. And you're going to tell me what classes I need to take. Okay. First, gen ed, right? Here's this half of the credits that you're paying us for, half of them. We're going to tell you need to take these exact classes. Even though you're paying us. Why can't I pay you to take exactly what I want to take, and that's it? Why do I need to learn about all this other history stuff that we've covered in high school, okay? It's not the same class, fine, whatever. We covered it in high school at some point or in middle school. I've learned about it before, just in maybe different detail. Just saying. And I'm going to take it again in college while I pay you to teach me, to get a degree in physics, but I'm going to learn about history. And then take another English class, even though I've been taking that for 12 and a half. Literally since I've been born, I've been learning English. And then I've also taken 12 years of classes on English since first grade. Okay? And then you're going to make me take more of those. And I'm going to pay you to do that. Thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands in some cases. Okay? And then, this is what I want to do with my life. So you're going to make me take these 400 level physics courses that I will never use again in my life. Again. Yeah, they teach. I just don't agree. They're teaching you things and that can be useful, and I just don't agree that I need those things. And it sounds super ignorant and it sounds super egotistical because I'm saying, hey, I know better than you people. Okay, you can call me egotistical and say that I don't know what I'm talking about. Fine, because I'm just a kid. But at the same time, I took the classes and I thought, nobody does this because a calculator does this. Okay, and there's things on the computer that do this for you, and all we're solving is problems that everyone else already solved. So what are we going to use this for in the future? That was never explained to me. And if you could explain that to me and say, hey, this is how you're going to use this when you get into the real world, I'd say, cool. Sounds good, bro. I'm cool with that. However, I heard none of that. So I don't know if there's anything that I learned in those 400 level courses that I would ever use, which sounds, again, it sounds like it just sounds like I'm speaking out of my butt, kind of, and saying things just because, and saying things because they made me mad. But I do really believe that some of what I learned was stuff that I'm not gonna need ever if I were to graduate. Now I won't need it. Now I'm doing video editing for a career. Get that through your head. Right after 4 years of college, I apply for internships also for last summer. Okay, so after 4 years of college, this is 2017. Okay, I'm getting ready to graduate. I'm like, yeah, what am I gonna do this summer? Okay, my thought was I'm gonna come back at 5th year for college first. Okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna come back 5th year of college, finish my education degree. Maybe if I get lucky and pass everything with a high enough GPA, I started applying for random internships because I'm like, I just want a job this summer and to get away and stop thinking about this. Something that has nothing to do with teaching or physics because I'm sick of it. So after searching for a bunch of jobs, I applied for a ton of them. Interviewed for one at my career fair at my school, which is the place I work at now. They gave me an internship for the summer doing video editing only because, right, in the interview, it was an editorial internship. So that's writing, editing, and video. Okay, so I'm like, okay. I was like the editor-in-chief of some website at school. It was no big deal at all. It was barely a website, but it was something. It sounds cool. Sounds good. Sounds like I know what I'm doing. Didn't really, but it sounds like it. So I was like, okay, they'll hire me as a writer maybe, and I'll write and edit because I did that. Nope. They saw on my resume that I did YouTube stuff. And if you look at this YouTube channel, there's like 50 videos on here. That's it. That's what I did. Those stupid vlogs and some music stuff. And I just made videos. I made some gaming videos too. That's it. And I was like, I've done some YouTube stuff on my own. I know what video is. I've used video and I've done editing. And because of that, they said you're hired. So I was like, okay, I'm 0% qualified for this job, but I'll go take it anyway. I took the job and they liked me and they hired me full time. And I had to decide, do I want to take this full-time job and stay in Arizona, or do I want to go back to school for another year? And it took me zero thinking to say, I'm staying in Arizona because school sucked. I hated it. Now, I'm not saying college sucks or you shouldn't go there. And I'm not saying that my college that I went to sucks as a college, but I'm saying that my experience, what I did, and again, my fault, okay, sucked. I was sick of it and I was not going back. So I was happy to take that internship. And the full-time job after the internship. It was awesome. And now I'm living here and now I'm getting married. And all that, 4 years of college without a degree, and now I have a wife. Gonna have a wife. About to have a wife. Didn't see that coming. Took me a year and 4 months to get a job and find a wife. And it took me 4 years to get my butt out here to Arizona. And I paid a lot of money to do that. So there you go. Everything you do in college to get, think about it. You go to college to get a job, ultimately, right? You get the degree, but you get the job. That's the goal. So you have 4 years of college to do that. And you also probably think, I'll spend those 4 years looking for a lady. If you're a dude, if you're a lady, looking for a dude, whatever it is that you're looking for. You're like, I'm going to spend time looking for a partner. So you're probably going into college thinking, I'll probably find myself a spouse and a job. I spent 4 years and found neither. And then after that, okay, I got a job that had nothing to do with what I studied in college and found a woman out here, a lady that I like, who I'm going to marry. And that took me barely over a year. It took me less than a year to find the lady and the job. It took me like 7 months. 6 months to find the job and the lady, even though it took me 4 years to get myself to get out. So is college worth it? I don't know. Mine wasn't. If you want to say that college got me here, fine. You could say it's worth it. I would say that's worth it. But all I'm saying is, my advice to anybody is before you go to college, okay? Before you go to college, think about it. You don't know what you're going to do. Decide first before you give money to the college. Because the colleges rip you off and make you take classes, go to a community college and work at the same time and pay it off as you go and take those courses that everybody makes you take, the gen ed stuff, and then you don't got to take them again and you don't have debt. Then you're like, okay, I like this stuff and I'm going to go do that. Just an idea. So if you're in high school and you're like, I need to go to college because my parents say so, or because everybody goes to college, don't go so fast. I'm not saying don't go, just don't move so fast and don't think I need to do it. Just don't think that. You don't need to. You might not need college at all. You could probably figure out how to make a business on your own because you can do that these days. It's easy. The internet makes it easy. Heck, people make money on Instagram because women make money on Instagram because they show cleavage and their butts and they take pictures of them. And then people give them money for sponsorships and stuff, and they make a lot of money and have millions of followers. Now, I'm not saying do that. I'm saying if you think about people can make money doing that, I could come up with something decent to do that would make me some money. Okay, that's true. I'm not saying you're going to make a lot of money, and I'm not saying you got a great idea, but you might have a decent idea and you might make some money. So give it a shot. Do something you like. And don't worry about going to college, because it's like what it feels like is that I had free college here in Arizona. I got a job and I got a wife in a year in Arizona without paying anything, and I got paid because I had a job. It's like free college. It's nothing like free college, but in my head it's like free college. Okay. And that's why we named the podcast the Free College Podcast. And thank you guys for watching. That's the end of episode 1. It's about 30 minutes long. And at the beginning of this episode, I think I'm going to try to cut it. It was like a minute of me being quiet because I was posting something. I was posting it on Facebook. And then I was trying to get into the groove of it. So sorry about the beginning. But if you enjoyed the podcast and you know me, tell me. If you don't know me, comment on the YouTube or Facebook or something. You probably won't find me on Facebook. Just comment on YouTube or SoundCloud or wherever you're listening, okay? And say, hey, I liked it. Tell me if you didn't think it was good. Or tell me what you didn't think was good so I can be better if you liked it at all. Do I want guests on the podcast? Maybe. Probably not. I like doing this by myself. I think, though, once I'm married, I think I'm going to throw my wife on here every once in a while, and we'll talk together because it's super easy to joke with her, and she's fun to joke around with, and she takes jokes really well. I really appreciate her because of that. So, see, I might do that, might not. Who knows? I'm going to do whatever I feel like on this podcast. So, thanks again for watching, guys, and yeah, if you like it, subscribe on YouTube. For the next episode. Don't know when it'll be. Probably next week because I'm probably going to do one a week. So that's everything. See ya.